So with all the permission from all of the panelists, we can start the session. All right. So a very good evening to one and all. I welcome you all to the introductory session of CII DQ Labs Design Hackathon. It's the first of its kind all India online inter-school design hackathon, inviting school students to participate and learn the right method of solving real life problems. The students will observe useful design thinking frameworks, concepts, processes, tools, and techniques. The Design Hackathon will be a two-day engagement on 16th to 17th of October 2021, involving several design mentors, faculty, and student volunteers to take the participating students through the journey of creating novel design solutions. I am Nitish Das, representing CII Design Team. We'll be happy to share that CII has been earnestly pursuing the strategy for promoting and leveraging design towards accelerating economic growth. CII has diligently worked to bolster and support the economy and society by demonstrating the vital role of design in making businesses more competitive and public services more effective. With this now, I would like to introduce Professor Pradyumna Vyas, Senior Advisor, Confederation of Indian Industry, and former Director of National Institute of Design. May I now request Professor Vyas to give his welcome address and share his views on the importance of design thinking in schools. Professor Vyas, over to you. Professor Vyas, you are on mute, right?
Thanks, Nitish. Dion, should we start or wait for some time because students are still joining?
I think we can start, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
The session will be live streamed on YouTube, so those who miss some part can watch it on YouTube later.
All right, great. Thank you very much. CII, DQ Lab, and Dean's Academy. I see Mrs. Shanti Menon here. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to young minds, their parents and teachers, to talk about Design Hackathon, CII DQ Lab Design Hackathon, and the relevance and why we are doing this. What is the aspect which you will be learning? In fact, you know, new education policy which has been announced, critical thinking and design thinking has become a major aspect into it. And there is a paradigm shift which is taking place in education delivery, because you see that when this education system was evolved in our country, usually it was very job centric, that there are some kind of jobs, you have a problem, and there is a fixed procedure to solve that, and that is the way that answer is there, but you are just learning the process. And now this whole development, the way it is happening, and when we are in the fourth industrial revolution, the world is becoming a complex place. And when world is becoming a complex place, there are complex problems. And when there are complex problems, they require a complex solution, and complex solution require critical thinking. And that's why that how to really get into understanding of this design process, design thinking, critical thinking, what we are talking about. I think it is a platform which this hackathon is going to really give insight to teachers and students and also parents. Because you see that Just to let you know, the parents and the teachers and students also, that the children who are in 5th or 6th standard today, their future where they are going to absorb or what kind of job they are going to get, it doesn't exist. Means those jobs don't exist. This scenario is really changing so fast, and technology is moving so fast that it is unthinkable that how are we going to really investigate the future. And that's why the design thinking becomes very, very important in today's time. So this is the complex world when we talk about it, is the VUCA world actually. VUCA, which is volatile, which is uncertain, which is complex, and which is ambiguous. And all these aspects, pandemic has really taught us this thing that you cannot really predict the future, and future is very uncertain. Future is complex, and we cannot say that, okay, now the crowd in the city is happening, so have a public transportation, and suddenly the public transportation become irrelevant when the pandemic comes in and people again started going back to the private transportation. So such kind of fluctuation in this whole thing, so you cannot predict the future. And when this complexity, you have to have certain way by which you can try and find out the best possible solution, and that is what design thinking is really helping you to do that. Focus is also shifting from technology to management to design. And when I say design, design is not only meant for designers, or design thinking is not meant for design, even the policy makers, even for the people who, for good governance, this design thinking is becoming important. Even if you want to become a good doctor or you want to become a good civil servant, you need to know the holistic and bird's eye view aspect into it. And that's why I think this holistic learning, that what are the touch point this design thinking really teaches you. It's a method, it's a process by which you know this, what are the ways by which you will be going through, and this hackathon is going to really take you there, because the design thinking is basically processing the innovation. And everybody talks about innovation-led economy, innovation is the key, future is innovation. All when we talk about, then innovation is what? It's an idea, it is something which is new, which makes your life better, but it needs to have a certain process. And that process is design process actually, and design thinking. So another aspect which I was mentioning is that there is a tremendous shift in teaching learning methods. So earlier it was a very textbook centric, and still it is a textbook centric education, that you are going through these textbook chapters and then you're trying to learn something. But now from teaching, the shift is happening to learning, because internet provides you all information and you have to process that information into certain knowledge. And I think how to really do that knowledge is where critical thinking is required. So the focus for teachers is not to give a capsule or spoon feeding, somewhere allow students to learn to think, to learn to find out how to address to the problem, and give them confidence that we can really get into it. And that is why the design thinking and critical thinking is really becoming very, very important. Now, just to let you know that how this entire focus is shifting because of the environmental pressures and other aspect on environment which is coming up. And there, like when there are different industrial revolution, but the second industrial revolution, which was in 1870, was when the electric power was developed, and mass consumption and mass production was the order of the day. And we all, our economy started focusing on consumption, that you use, supermarket, you buy, you use, you throw, you use, you throw, you use, and then environment junk the way it is happening. And that is what is called wicked problem, that you try and solve something and you create 100 problems. The plastic is very good material, but it is creating environmental hazards and other aspects. How will you do that? It is not simple. You can't get away with plastic, and at the same time plastic is creating a menace on planet Earth. And this is where that how we can really live in a balanced way with the nature and human development. So sustainable nature and human development is the final goal which we want to do. and we need to look into. But this is the second industrial revolution which has created such kind of havoc. But now we are into the fourth industrial revolution, which is the what you call digital, where the physical, digital, biological, all boundaries are merging, and there is nothing called mechanical engineering. There is nothing called what you call civil engineering, and all these disciplines are just fusing in each other. If you start looking into the spectacle which I'm wearing, there must be at least 25 different disciplines must have worked on designing this particular spectacles. And then if suppose a spring person or optics person or plastic person or your body dimensions and all, each area different experts are there. If they start working in isolation, how are you going to make a very comfortable spectacles? I think this is what you are going to learn. How this all discipline, whether it is technology, management, social science, how these disciplines are looking into what are we going to really do that. So it is a multidisciplinary approach, and you will find and discover that this multidisciplinary approach, which is trying to understand the various aspects of touch point and take their cognizance. The designer is not a god, it's just part of the team, and the entire thing is becoming collaborative. You have to learn to work in collaboration, and this is what hackathon is going to do, that there are going to be the team, and team will be having synergy, and the team outcome will be shown in whatever number of hours which will be doing. So one side very analytical thinking, another side it is, because many times design career or some people start talking it's a art, it's a textile, it is a fashion, and it is more of a something to do, and parents get worried, oh, whether my son or daughter will get job or not, it is going totally in wrong, better to become engineer or better to become doctor. And if suppose I tell you that after 10 years there won't be any place for a particular type of radiologist because everything will be done in artificial intelligence, what will you do? Because this is what is going to happen, that tomorrow the radiologist job may not be required. All artificial intelligence will really process the data and give you report at your home. These are the situations which are really going to do that. So it is not only art, it is not only textile, it is not, but it really takes care of other things. And where analytical aspect, which we talk very strongly about engineering and other things, and there is the artistic, which is a more emotion related thing. And when you try and fuse that, you try and create a very human centric solution. And when we talk about human centric, that is what the design is, that we are focusing on people, but now we are also focusing on planet. So both people and planet become very important. And when we say that it is human centric, it is earth centric, and we try and find a solution which really taking a complete balancing act of the whole development. So why it is important today? Because it looks into problem in a different way. And this different way, I am not going to explain you, because these people are going to talk about what is this different way which they are talking to, going to look into. Deep understanding objective. You see, always we say that when we any problem area which has to be socially very wide and technologically very deep, and that is what the balancing you have to really create and go forward. So discovering unknown, we don't know what is going to come. At least you will discover here that how are you going to really discover the areas which are not known to you, which is not there in the textbook, and also reducing the risk of development process. Because design thinking, when you apply, you are able to really find out probable scenario that which we are going to come in, and that way you can minimize, save the time and minimize the risk also, and fostering the new culture in the organization or wherever you are. So this is something I would say that hackathon is certainly going to bring in a lot of value in you. Just have an open mind. What is important is open mind. We have lots of blocks in our mind, that openness to learn, openness to accept and try and analyze. and not to have very preconceived ideas. And I think this is also that the shift in the teachers also have to have, that when there's no teaching, there's no kind of mugging or something, students may be knowing much more and creative more because of the internet and other things are there, but teachers have to get into mentorship position. And you will be finding in this hackathon that there are going to be mentors who will be facilitating and who will nurture a person in you to tell that what you are, what strengths you have, and how you really can take it to the next level. Each individual has a strengths. Each student is bright in their own way. We cannot just put it that you have to know mathematics very well or chemistry very well and then only you are good, because the aspect is that how this in the strength and potential which you have, you would be able to recognize it and take it forward. So my earnest request to all of you is that I think we in new education policy change the complete paradigm of teaching learning with design thinking and critical thinking way, and see that this new breed of students who are coming up, they can really take challenge in this complex world to solve the complex problem. It is not that we are just dealing with complex world and complex. There are enormous opportunities are also coming because there is so much of technological developments are happening. And end of the day, technology is only enabler. It is not the answer for problems, because if you just follow the technology, we will end up in a major chaos in future. Technology is that if you put design thinking, how much technology to use, that becomes very important. Otherwise, if you start running behind the technology is really going to take you to in some deep valley or where you won't be able to come out. So understanding, and then there is the human development cycle is there. You cannot go faster than that, otherwise you get into wicked problems. So always try and understand human and earth point of view, and then whatever context is there, use the technology and go forward. And that is what in design thinking you will be learning. So I wish you all the best, because you need to know more about what this hackathon is going to offer. But I request that please join and try and get as much as understanding today and register for that. Thank you very much. I hope I have not taken too much of time.
Thank you very much, Professor Vyas, to set the context. Now I would like to invite Ms. Shanti Menon. Ms. Menon is principal and co-founder of the Dean's Academy since 2006. A university rank holder from Stella Maris College, Chennai, she holds teaching and training diplomas with distinction from the Cambridge University, UK, and a master's degree in education. Ms. Menon has worked in many prestigious institutions in Chennai and Hyderabad, after which she was a coordinator at CMR National Public School, Bangalore, and was also instrumental in setting up Gopalan International School in Bangalore before she joined Dean's Academy. Now, may I now request Ms. Menon to share her views on key role of principal and teachers in encouraging students to take up design thinking and design doing practices. Ms. Menon, over to you.
Thank you, Nitish. Greetings to all my associates at CII. Greetings to Mr. Pradyumna Vyas, Mr. Umesh Kumar, Mr. Dion from DQ Labs, and all the participating students, colleagues, etc. Just like Dr. Vyas mentioned, things are very volatile. Things are very ambiguous. It is important that we train our students to build skills to handle such complex situations. Essentially, to problem solve, be creative within collaborations, which is very important. And like he said, this, fortunately for everybody, is so much part of the NEP's requirement and NEP's tenet today. This is this base of design thinking, fortunately, too. So children need to be geared towards recognizing problems, of anticipating issues, of researching aspects of a problem in all its gamut. Like he said, holistically, look at all aspects of it. So that one, you find a solution and you lead out to another problem, and that cannot be. It has to be holistic. They have to be able to challenge existing assumptions. People get so pulled down by traditional methods, systems that exist, and a lot of times people are unwilling to change, or, processes are, people don't want to break processes because that's been there, that's available, it's always been working. But you can make it better. And these are things that we should start getting children to start learning to challenge. We also have to, get them to start understanding that you create credible solutions that are innovative, that are effective, and that can be replicated in different situations all the time. All of this will be part of what we're looking at as design thinking, very clearly explained by Dr. Vyas. For a school teacher, now for me as an educator, it starts with a very simple skill, the skill of questioning. Children need to be taught to think through anything that they see, hear, read, etc. Decipher and analyze, and then to ask the right questions. When they start questioning, they start thinking. This will lead them to identifying and seeing problems for themselves, seeing situations which can be made better, can be made more efficient. They need to be taught how to view these situations, again, like I said, holistically, so that their solution then becomes holistic. The skill can be built as young as when they are in kindergarten, I believe. For instance, a very simple example. When you read to them the story of Red Riding Hood, when Red Riding Hood discovers that it's a wolf and not her grandmother in bed, you can always get the children to start thinking of a different ending. What would you do if you had been Red Riding Hood? This is design thinking at the smallest, basest level. Okay, we're putting them into a process of thinking for themselves, problem.
Is it me or the frame is frozen, Nitish?
I think Ms. Menon had some internet issues. Pooja, can you just probably check if it's possible for you?
Sure, Nitish, I'll check. Umesh, can we start with the presentation of Design Hackathon then, and we can have Ms. Menon joining in and having her comments shared towards the end of the session? Is that advisable? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea. So I'm sharing my screen. So please let me know if everybody is able to see my screen clearly. If yes, can you type in yes in your chat boxes, everyone? You're all able to see your screen, my screen? Yes. All right, great. So thank you, Nitish, and a very good afternoon to all the panelists, principals, teachers, and students and parents who are attending this session. A very happy Ganesha Chaturthi. May Lord Ganesha remove all obstacles you're facing in your lives. Thank you, Professor Pradyumna Vyas and Shanti ma'am, for the enlightening views on the importance of design thinking and design doing for students. Design Hackathon 2021 is a great opportunity for the students to learn design thinking and design doing. The third edition of Design Thinking event will be on 16th and 17th of October. And with the help of CII and industry, this year, Design Hackathon will be the largest pan-India online inter-school event to promote design among students of grade 8 and 12. And I'm sure you're all having a lot of questions to ask. I'm going to answer a lot of them, but please let me run through what Design Hackathon is all about. Okay, so it's a 2-day online event organized on CII Hive platform. So there will be teams of students, 2 to 5 members in each team. There will be 2 levels, junior level and senior level. Junior level for grade 8 to 10 and senior level for grade 11 and 12. Junior level for grade 8 and 10, right? So what happens in the Design Hackathon? So each of the teams will select one of the design categories. I will share what those design categories are, and they will work work under the personal guidance of design professionals, right? And they would solve the problems, and the outcomes will be presented in a 1-minute video and 5 images per team. So the finalists and winners are recognized during the 21st CII India Design Summit award ceremony in October 2021. Okay. So the 10 design categories that we are talking about are these: architecture, fashion design, transportation design, product design, graphic, film and animation, game, interior furniture, strategic design management, and UI UX. Now, what is the theme of Design Hackathon 2021? That we will be announcing on the day of event. But you will be trying to decipher the problem areas in those spaces relevant to the theme, and you will be trying to solve those problems under the guidance of design professionals. Right? So why Design Hackathon? Now, this is something that has to be done hands-on. You may watch a video, all right, you may see a process adopted by a company and try to understand it, but the best way to learn what design thinking and design doing is experiencing its hands-on. So that hands-on experience we give you in this Design Hackathon, and you will be under, now your team will be under direct mentorship of an experienced design professor, right? And you would develop key attitude, aptitude, skills, and knowledge and experience in design. So this will be a 16-hour, it's a 2-day, 8 hours per day, 16-hour intensive one-to-one kind of a mentorship about design process, right? And you learn design thinking and design. Now, who should participate? Now, how many of you would like to become leaders? I'm talking about all the students who are attending the show, or the parents and teachers who are mentoring students. How many of you want your children, your students, to become leaders, the future leaders? All of you, isn't it? So any student aspiring to become a professional or a designer or a farmer or a doctor or an engineer or a chartered accountant or a banker, a trader, a politician or a teacher, or a CXO or an athlete or a policymaker or a businessman, whatever the children wants to become, they should attend this Design Hackathon so that they can internalize what design thinking and design doing is, and they can apply in their real life to become the leaders in their fields. So what do you learn? So let us look at the holistic aspect of what you learn. Since you are being mentored under a trained design professional, there's a great scope for you to develop these skills, like, for example, growth attitude or critical thinking skills, or becoming sensitive to empathy, or risk-taking abilities, embracing failure, working in teams, developing research skills and presentation skills. All of this will be happening parallelly as you are trying to solve a problem with the design process. So what is a design process? It's simply put a 6-step process. We start with problem, understanding the problem, trying to discover what the problem is and redefining the problem, and developing ideas and solutions for the problem, also testing them quickly with quick mock-ups and delivering the final solution. So this is the entire design process. You would be learning the framework along with the tips, tricks, tools to help you achieve each of these steps. So every student who participates in this Design Hackathon would get a CII DQ Labs merit certificate, which is very powerful for you. And of course, the knowledge that you gain, the experience that you gain, and also the interesting and relationships that you build among your team members and also with the design faculty and the design professors, that is invaluable, right? The deserving candidates will also be given graphic tablets and stationery kits and vouchers. Outstanding works, as I told you, will get the opportunity to present their work at 21st CII Design Summit, India Design Summit. Now, this is a design summit which will be participated by all the design industry and top professionals. So you get an opportunity to present your idea to them. And you will get scholarships for some of the programs at Design Quotient Labs as well. Now, very interesting, the school that has maximum amount of representation and the students who do really well from that particular school will also get 25,000 rupee cash award along with a rolling trophy. Okay. Right. So past year winners. So 2020, the rolling trophy has gone to DPS East, Delhi Public School East, Bangalore. They have also won 25,000 rupee cash award, and the students have got 18,000 rupees worth gift sets. Right. In 2019, the rolling trophy has gone to National Center for Excellence in Bangalore. Right. And the overall winners of Design Hackathon will get very good prizes. So keep looking forward to that. Now, how do you register for Design Hackathon? So it's a very simple 4-step process. First is form your team. We need to have at least 2 to 5 students in a team. And you can create your team intra-school or inter-school. So what do I mean? Let us say you are an 8th grade student, and there are some students among your school, within your school, who are interested to participate in Design Hackathon. You all can come together and create a team. Now, let us say you're a 12th grader and you don't find anyone in your school, within your school, interested in this Design Hackathon. You can find a different student from a different school. You can combine together, you can come together and participate as a team. So first step is to form your team. The second step is you have to pay your fee for your team, right? So there is a bit.ly link here. We will be sharing this bit.ly link with all the participants, and Dion and Nitesh, if possible, I would request you to share this link. Okay, and also we'll share this presentation to all the participants so that they can refer to it at any point of time. So you pay the fee on the CII website, and once you get the confirmation email of your payment, you forward that email to dh@dqlabs.in, right? So once you do that, within 24 hours of time of making your payment and sending the confirmation email, our team will get to you and we will brief you the next steps. Okay. So what is the fee for participating for this program? The per team fee is 25,000 rupees, but we have an early bird offer for all the teams registering before 20th of September. So the early bird offer price is 1,500 rupees plus GST per team. So please avail this opportunity. You can save about 1,000 rupees, right? So please click on that link and register. So if you have any questions or if you have any difficulty or any inquiries, those can be written to dh@dqlabs.in, and all your queries will be addressed within 6 hours between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. All right. Okay. So this is about the Design Hackathon. If the participants have any questions, please feel free to ask them using the Q&A option that is available. All right. Over to you, Nitish.
Yes. Thank you, Umesh.
I think Mrs. Menon, disruption was there because of the online, and she could not finish her.
Yes, sir.
So maybe we can request her to.
So
yeah.
Ms. Menon would request you to kindly, take over from there.
Thank you. So I just quickly wind up with what I was saying. I was talking about how even the kindergartners can be weird towards design thinking. It may not sound very comfortable when you're talking about the kindergartners doing it, but essentially problem solving. And as we go into higher classes, primary and middle school, etc., we start getting them into the whole setup of, solving common issues within schools. Even simple things like managing recycle of textbooks year after year. Every school just throws them away. We don't know what to do with it. So it can start with something as small as that. So essentially, as educators, bringing in an inquiry-based learning mode, bringing in a research-based learning mode, bringing in subject integration, not looking at subject as silos, so that, conceptual learning is the base of all of school curricula. which is also geared in very much the whole thought of design thinking later, emotional quotient, which is brought into the curriculum, starts developing this in children at a very, very young age. And I believe firmly that this is going to be the future that we need to have with our children. With that, let me take this opportunity to thank DQ Labs and CII for having Dean's Academy to be partnering them in this endeavor of bringing an awareness and, of course, making the shift in thought process in terms of, not just schools, but curricula across grades, across schools in the country. Allowing children to begin with viewing problems as something that can be managed, to be able to ideate in groups as they find solutions, test it, reimagine, recreate solutions. So to all of you participants today here, here's to a great start, best wishes. And of course to DQ Labs and CII, I'm sure Decathlon is only a start of what a revolution that we are going to be creating in the country in terms of design thinking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Menon. Now I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Umesh Kumar and Mr. Dion. In case of any questions, if any of the participant is having, they would probably can take that question and can answer them. So Mr. Umesh and Mr. Dion, over to you.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Thanks so much. Yeah, so I will moderate the Q&A session from here. There's been a few questions that people have had. One of the main questions is from Ruchi Kotari. All right. What type of images do they have to submit along with the video? Can we see examples of the last few hackathons? Is this presentation publicly available to share with others who have not attended this webinar? Right. Umesh, if you can take this.
Yes. So there are multiple questions in this single question. So the first thing is, yes, the presentation is very much available. We will be sharing the links with the schools. And if possible, we can also share the links in the chat box. Nitish, if you can share the important links, right?
I've just done that.
Right, sure. So that is number one. Secondly, what kind of information is expected in that video and images, 5 images? All right, so you would be capturing about the problem that you're trying to solve, how you're trying to solve, and what is the final solution that you're proposing. All right, so that will be captured in the 1-minute video and the 5 images. And even if you don't know how to create those images or a video, we will have some training sessions for you to help you create those videos and images. All right, and if you want to see the previous year's outcomes that are available on the DQ Labs website, and Dion, I would again request you if you can share past year's design hackathons outcomes.
Yeah, I've just done that on the website.
All right, great, awesome. So I hope you all have received them. Yeah.
Right, and the next thing is this presentation publicly available to share with others who have not attended this webinar? Yeah.
Yes. So see, the presentation is available as a PPT format. We will be sharing the link, and it is also recorded on CII website. You can access the CII YouTube channel, and it is being recorded live on the channel. So you can share those links as well.
All right. So the links to the CII channel has also been shared. Let me just share it once here. All right. I hope you've received the link to the live stream. So after this webinar, the stream is available. And like Umesh mentioned, the links to the presentation are also available online. Right. Right. The other thing that people have requires a little more clarity in terms of benefits for students who are participating in the hackathon. What do they learn? How do they grow from this?
All right. So You have multiple benefits. Number one is you will learn the method of solving a problem. All right. Now, when you face a problem, when I'm talking about a problem, it is a real life problem. For example, if I'm in Bangalore and we are getting to know that the water in Bangalore, the groundwater in Bangalore will be exhausted in few months. Now, this is a real life problem. Now, how do you solve it? Right? Is there a method to know how to solve this problem? Now, thanks to design thinking and design doing, so there is a method where we can approach this problem in a systematic way and come up with solutions, right? So you would understand a strategic method to solve any kind of a problem. Now, let us say a student now in the future, he is becoming a politician. Now, if he knows the method of solving problems as a politician, he can do wonders, right? Now, let us say you are becoming an entrepreneur and you're trying to solve a real life problem. Okay, so what is the method of solving this problem? So the method of solving this problem is, as I told you, the 6-step process. Now there are multiple smaller tasks that you need to be doing in this 6 steps. Now, how to do it, how to handle it, what you will be learning in these 2 days. That is the advantage number one. Advantage number two, now when you have to solve a problem, it is not a one person's job, it is a team effort. Now when we are talking about team, you are gonna meet with different personalities, with different backgrounds and different constraints that they come up with, right? So how do you work within the team? That is also a skill that you understand, right? Number three, whenever you're trying to solve a complex problem, you will face multiple issues and all the solutions that you are thinking about might fail. So how do you learn and how do you face that failures is another great learning that you have. Number four, unlike the other hackathons where a problem is given to you and you have to fight it out and give a solution, right? Here in this design hackathon, you are mentored by design professionals for 16 hours at every step of the design process, helping you how to tackle the problem at that particular point of time. So this gives you a greater opportunity to work under a design professional. How many of us actually get that opportunity of working under a design professional, right? At this age, when you're getting that opportunity, it's great advantage, right? And number five, you also have the opportunity of building relationships with that mentor, that design mentor, right? So these are the various advantages that you would have while you participate in the design hackathon. So basically, you are becoming a leader with some skill set that is very, very valuable. All right.
Fantastic. Thanks, Umesh, for that. There's a question. If we are a student who doesn't have access to a computer or don't have much information about a computer, would this help us?
Absolutely. So the design process, it can be, I mean, it's a process, right? So the tools like computers and your mobile phones, etc., these are only tools to assist you to finish your process. Okay. Even if you have a simple paper, pen, and a mobile phone and an internet connection and your team, that is enough to solve problems, to understand the design process. All right. So, of course, you need to have at least a mobile phone with internet connection because you can connect online and you can participate with other people. But you don't need to have any prior knowledge of any of the softwares. All right. You don't need to know Photoshop. You don't need to know a video editor. You don't need to know how to record audio, video, and etc. Because we are gonna help you learn those stuff using free open source softwares. All right. So, yeah.
Thank you, Umesh, for that. There's another question from one of the attendees who's asking, can this invitation be sent to schools?
Absolutely. this can be sent to schools. So CII is working with the boards, and it has already sent communication to various boards, and they will further to the respective schools. Apart from that, we also highly recommend all the participants to share this information with their principals and schools.
Thank you. Right. When do we get to complete? Irfan is asking, when do we get to complete the payment, as my team and I have registered?
All right, so the links are live now. So they have been shared in the chat window. So you can click on the payment link and you can finish the payment as of now or anytime you're convenient. And we also put up a small on how to pay and register. In case if you have any difficulty in choosing those various objective questions that are asked, if you want any assistance, please watch that video. It will explain you how to pay and register, and send an email to dh@dqlabs.in. So you can pretty much go ahead, please pay and register.
Right, Umesh. The next question is, how much do we pay with the early bird offer?
Right. So the early bird offer price is 1,500 rupees plus 18% GST. It will come to 1,770 rupees. So without the early bird offer, it is 2,500 rupees plus GST per team.
All right. Thank you. Now, there's a question from Dhwani. How are we going to come up with a team with other school students if our school students are not interested? So what are the options if a student cannot find their own team?
Okay, so if you do not find a team member within your school, you can look at your apartment complex. There will be other students. Let's say you are from a junior level. Okay, you are studying 8th grade, but there will be other students who are studying 8th, 9th, 10th within your apartment or within among your friend circle or relative circle. So you got to go find and tell them, hey, do you want to become a leader? If yes, then join me. Let us go learn this important skill sets that this design hackathon is offering us, right? So you can find your team member like that. And guys, students, please do not work in silos, right? In the real world, nothing happens in silos, right? So you have to go find your team member. Let us say you are trying to establish your own company. You need a co-founder. How would you find your co-founder? If finding a co-founder is not that easy, right? So you got to go out, network, and find. So you can start your networking within among your community where you are living, and you can ask your parents, daddy or mom, do you know anybody who's studying 8th grade who wants to participate in this, and make friends with them and participate. Okay.
Right, Umesh. So the next question is, I'm not in India. Is it possible for me to participate?
Right. So if you are studying in a board associated with India, like CBSE, ICSE, IB board, or NIOS board, then definitely, yes, you can participate at this point of time. Next year, we are thinking of making this global. So then the global citizens and students may be able to participate. But at this point of time, if your school is associated with any of these boards, then yes, you can participate.
On that note, Umesh, if a student is, let's say they make a group from a school, so they're representing their school. What about students who form a group from outside the school, right? What would be the benefits and drawbacks of that?
Very good question, Dion. So let us say your team members, each of your team members are from different schools. Okay, you still have to let us know which school you are participating from. And of course, you will be eligible to participate because you have students from a same level, like senior or junior level. You will be able to participate and take the benefit of Design Hackathon. Now, what you would be missing out is, let us say, if the students are from different school, you would be missing out, your school will be missing out the opportunity of winning the rolling trophy and the cash prize. Right. So if all your team members are from the same school and you have multiple teams, there are higher chances of winning the cash prize for your school and also rolling trophy for the school. Okay.
All right. Thank you. So Akshay is asking, sir, can I participate through UI, UX and UI, and will I be able to learn it?
Absolutely. Yes, yes. You will learn so many things, right? These 2 days of design hackathon will be really enlightening for all the students. They will learn many skills. They're exposed to many skills, right? And they also get first-hand experience of working in that particular domain. UI, UX is a category that we have. And yes, you will have great learning. So please do join.
All right. Can we participate individually? Umesh, on the slide. So can we participate individually? There are a few more questions on these similar to this. So the other question is, can I participate if I'm in class 7, or can I participate if I'm over class 12?
Right. So unfortunately, class 7 and over class 12 students at this point of time, you are unable to participate as per the rules of Design Hackathon, at least this year. And can you participate as a single participant? No, you need to have at least one more team member, because we are looking at helping you have great learning. So you would have great learning if you work with other team members. So please look for other team members. If they're not convinced, get them convinced, or get your best friend and join together. Okay.
Right. The next question. This is from Nitisha. Respected sir, ma'am, do we need to use specific software like Photoshop to participate in graphic designing competition, or is any software all right?
Right. So regarding the softwares, if you have paid version of the softwares, please go ahead and use it. If not, there are many free open source softwares that are available. You can make use of them. All right. For example, a Photoshop equivalent free open source software is GIMP, G-I-M-P. You can use that. Or Illustrator free open source version is called Inkscape. You can use that. You can also use softwares like Canva to put up your thoughts. You don't require great skill to use Canva. It's a very simple tool to use, right? And so we will tell you, we will give you many resources through which you can create digital presentations, right? So do not worry about that. We will train you for whatever is required to help you put up your thoughts in a very nice way. So that is the reason why we are having, this is a mentor-led design hackathon, not just a design hackathon where a problem is thrown at you and you're supposed to come up with a solution, right?
Right, Umesh. Now, Vanshika's asked an interesting question. What types of questions will be there? Would it be objective or subjective?
All right. So last year theme of Design Hackathon, last year theme was preparing for the next worldwide disaster. So that was the theme, all right? And we had various categories like architecture, fashion design, UX, UI, graphic design, transportation design, and etc. All right. So based on the theme and the category of design that you are choosing, okay, you would solve the problem. Like for example, students have taken architecture category. They have come up with some kind of a rescue shelters that can be used in the next worldwide disaster, right? Fashion design students have come up with some kind of a unique clothing that will help you to save your life during the time of disaster, right? So graphic design students have come up with some solutions which would help you or make you aware of how you have to prepare for the next worldwide disaster, right? So based on the theme, you would be having various problems to solve based on your category as well, and you would solve. So these are all subjective based. These are not objective based questions. These are subjective kind of questions, right?
Right, Umesh. Thank you for that. Now, there's another interesting question. Can we only register after our teams are formed, or can we register before that and then look for our teams?
All right, that's a very interesting question. So my suggestion is you look for your team, at least if you have another person, like minimum is 2 numbers, right? And the maximum is 5 members per team. So if you find just one more person, you just get both of you together and pay and register. You can always add the team members at a later stage if you want, right? But you need at least 2 members to go ahead and pay and register.
All right. So please find your teammate, at least one other person, register, and then you can do a little more. Piyush Gupta is asking, this tomorrow is another session. Piyush, there is no other session related to this tomorrow. If you missed this or if you joined in between, you can always watch the live recording. The YouTube channel has been shared in the chat, so please refer to the YouTube recording and you'll get that. Please illustrate with an example what participants will need to solve.
Okay, so what you have to solve will be revealed on the day of hackathon. But Dion, if you can share the last year's winning entry, probably we can show it as an example for them, what last year they have done.
Sure. So if you come on this website link has been shared in the chat. Now, if you come here, you will find that the details of the 2020 Design Hackathon. And over here, we've put in the problem theme, which was last year's problem theme of preparing for the next worldwide disaster. Of course, we had the winning school and the overall winners. Now, what we'll do is we'll show you what the output was. So the overall winners from all categories was under graphic design, and it was a team representing themselves, and the team number was UB2. And if I can show you what was there, just a second. Let me share my sound. And as an example, there were 5 images showing what is the problem, you know, the reason behind the problem, and of course the contact information as well, and what is their objective for a solution. All right, so this was shared, and along with the video. Now I'm going to play this video. It's a 1-minute video, so you can watch this. All right, I hope that's addressed your question. Now, we don't want you to be intimidated by this output, because this output is good. But if you do not have the skills, we have a design mentor to help you generate this, right? So probably Umesh will talk a little more about that.
All right. So 1 week prior to the event, we will share certain videos, certain training videos with all participants, so they can go through that and learn step by step how to make a presentation, how to create a video, how to make an animation, and all of this. So this information is shared with you 1 week prior to the event. All right, so go through that and you will be able to pick up all the skills that are required to be efficiently giving that kind of an output. Okay, that's number one. Secondly, as I told you, each of the team members will be assigned with a design mentor who will be with you for the entire 16 hours. And wherever you are having difficulty, they will help you to achieve or overcome the difficulty. Let us say you're not able to compose a particular picture properly. So the design mentor will help you to do that. He will not do it, but he or she will help you to achieve it, right? So that kind of an assistance is given to you so that you can come up with great output. Okay.
All right. So I'm seeing a lot of the questions being repeated, so we will not address the questions that have already been answered. And we are coming down to the end of this, so maximum another 5 minutes, we'll try and address whatever questions. If you have questions beyond that, please reach out to our email address, that is dh@dqlabs.in. The information has been posted in the chat box, and it will also be updated in the description of the YouTube live webinar. All right. So I'm looking for questions that have not been addressed. Myra DeCosta is asking, will we have to get someone we know who's a professional at the topic we choose, or will we be assigned a person to help us? Myra, that's just been answered. You will be assigned a design mentor. So you do not need anyone external. You will, it's not something the design mentor will help you and your team. They will be with your team for the full 2 days, and they will help you with whatever questions you have. All right. Umesh, there's another question. Will the hackathon be 8 hours continuously each day?
Yes. So, in fact, what we have seen is some of the participants were so very passionate that they have worked almost 10 to 12 hours a day, right? Because they got really involved in what they are doing, right? Because they're trying to solve a very, very a problem that every person would face, right? So there will be a minor breaks in between, right? But it will be like 8 hours each day. And even after the 8 hours, if the students are interested, they can continue working on it. But they should be present on the CII Hive platform that we'll be sharing to the registered the participants. Their presence is required continuously for 8 hours each day. Yes.
All right. All right. Okay. The theme is going to be announced on the day of the hackathon. All right. Right. When would we be selecting the design categories? Would it be once we receive the problem, or would it be prior? Moksh Kutari.
So the design category should be chosen by you now, okay, not after the theme is announced, because we need to assign the relevant mentors and design faculty for you, right? So if you are interested in graphic design or strategic design management or architecture or transportation or fashion design, so based on your interest, you choose the category right now, okay?
Right. Umesh, when is the last date for registration?
So the last date for registration, I think it will be first week of October. Okay, so
yeah, the early bird registration fee is applicable till the 20th of September. So
right.
Please register and make sure you complete the registration process, including the payment, before the 20th of September. Beyond which there will be the regular fee, which is rupees 2,500 plus tax, and that will be applicable till probably till early October. All right. Right. So So repeated questions, a lot of repeated questions saying, I can't find a team member, my parents, I'm interested, but my parents don't allow me to participate. If your parents don't allow you to participate, please ask them to watch this recording of this webinar. It's a beautiful program. It's done before. And there's a lot of learning from it. So please ask your parents to watch this webinar. I'm sure they would be happy to allow you to participate. Oh, there's a nice, interesting question. How do we send pictures and work together if for a product if the team members are in different locations?
Awesome. Very nice question. So we are using a special platform for sharing of your work and evaluation of work, right? So it's called Exam Play. So all the teams will be onboarded onto Exam Play, and you will be having your own cohorts. So you will be uploading your work over there, and it will be accessible for the design mentors and design faculty. They will review it, they will look at it, and we also be interacting one-to-one on the CII Hive platform. Each team will be assigned a meeting room in which there will be a design faculty and a design mentor as well, and they will be interacting with you, and all the work that you produce will be uploaded on Examplay platform. And from there, you will be sharing it with your friends and etc. as well for getting the social media. All right. Yeah.
All right. Right. So I'm thinking we are come to the end of this session. For all of you, I'm looking at the questions, and your questions have all been addressed. If you do have any further questions, please please feel free to email us on dh@dqlabs.in. This and you should be able to participate. All right. Akshay Mishra is asking, is this site secure? Yes, everything what we use, all the platforms are completely secure, so there's no need for any concerns on that front. All right. Yeah.
So thank you, Dion, and thank you, Mr. Umesh, for a very great insights about this design hackathon. And I hope all of the students who are present here must have understood the importance of design and would be registering for this design hackathon, which we are going to have, and would take a great participation in this. With this is a closure of the end of this today's introductory webinar. And we look forward to having your presence in the Design Hackathon 2021. Thank you so much, everyone, and take care.
Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Umesh.
Thank you.
All the participants.